Kim Jong-un's sister has warned Seoul against taking part in joint military exercises with the United States and Japan, stressing that Pyongyang will regard this as a continuation of hostile policy toward North Korea. Kim Yo-jong stated that the reckless show of force demonstrated by the Americans, Japanese and South Koreans through maneuvers near the DPRK will inevitably bring negative consequences for the organisers themselves. The drills are scheduled to take place from September 15th to September 19th of this year. Earlier, Kim Jong-un called for a radical expansion of the nuclear arsenal, arguing that the security situation in the country is worsening with each passing day, which in his view requires a decisive response and further military mobilization. Famine, public executions for simply watching foreign TV dramas, and the grotesque glorification of death have become central elements of life in North Korea, according to a devastating new UN report. Based on more than 300 interviews with defectors conducted over the past decade, the document concludes that the regime of Kim Jong-un has institutionalized repression on a scale unseen anywhere else in the world. Since 2015, the authorities have introduced at least 6 new laws expanding the death penalty, and one of the crimes punishable by execution is the distribution of foreign media, including movies and television series. Defectors told investigators that since 2020, public executions have become more frequent, carried out openly to instill fear and suppress any challenge to the system. One woman who fled in 2023 recounted how 3 of her friends were executed for possessing South Korean material, including a 23-year-old young man who was sentenced to death in a trial she attended, judged alongside drug offenders as if watching TV and trafficking narcotics were equal crimes. The report describes how, over the last 10 years, the regime has expanded surveillance to an unprecedented level, leveraging modern technologies to monitor every aspect of its citizens' lives. Food shortages are rampant, with 3 meals a day described as a luxury, and during the COVID pandemic, hunger spread widely, killing people across the country. Authorities have simultaneously cracked down on informal markets that were a lifeline for many, leaving survival even harder. The border with China has been militarized, with soldiers ordered to shoot to kill anyone attempting to cross, effectively sealing the country and making escape nearly impossible. Forced labor has intensified, with impoverished citizens conscripted into brutal work brigades in mines and construction sites, where exhaustion, accidents and malnutrition claim lives. In recent years, thousands of orphans and homeless children have also been absorbed into these brigades, a practice the UN describes as a shocking abuse of the most vulnerable. Instead of improving conditions, the regime glorifies death, portraying those who perish in labor or famine as martyrs sacrificing themselves for Kim Jong-un. The report highlights that North Korea continues to operate at least 4 political prison camps, where detainees face torture, mistreatment and starvation, with countless prisoners dying under inhumane conditions. Although there are limited signs of marginally reduced violence by guards, the UN stresses that these camps remain sites of crimes against humanity. It urges the International Criminal Court in The Hague to open an investigation, but such action requires UN Security Council approval, a step consistently blocked by Russia and China.